Here we are, we're in our studio apothecary down in our little small town, and I've been working like crazy getting things harvested, hung up to dry on our herb hangers, and processing St. John's wort and amongst other herbs. And I just got a question this morning, and it's like the second or third one this week on how do I get to sleep? So I know sleep is really a big deal, and for some people it's really a problem. If you're not getting enough sleep, it's an issue. And the other thing is if you're getting poor sleep, it's an issue, honestly. And our dream sleeps. I mean, some people don't like to dream, but your dreams are very, very important. In fact, I was taking a class the other day, and the teacher was talking about insomnia. And it turns out that you can be sleeping and still have insomnia. And what it has to do with is the amount of REM sleep you get, or rapid eye movement sleep. That's your dream stage of sleep. So there are some things you can do about this. So in general, let's go ahead and talk about sleep and what it does for us and how it affects our stress levels. If you're a person who's under a lot of stress, and I want to just address this first because I don't know about the people who were asking me the questions, but I suspect that stress was probably part of the problem. I've been through stressful situations before in my life, and I know it can wreak havoc on your body. So if you're dealing with a lot of stress, it's likely you have a lot of cortisol in your body. Cortisol, in turn, if you have too much of it, it keeps you awake at night. This means that you basically have trouble sleeping. So if you can't sleep, guess what? Your immune system suffers, your brain suffers, your cognitive function suffers, your entire life suffers the next day, and then what happens? You're under more stress, right? This sleep and stress cycle, if it gets going and it's not stopped, it definitely can affect our focus, our ability to function, our physiological health, and so many other things. Disease can be brought on just simply by not being able to sleep, and it's really dangerous. So we need to take care of our sleep. So we're going to talk about some essential oils that are really helpful for sleep and talk about why they're helpful. But before we do that, herbalists who are holistic in nature, we like to talk about lifestyle and holistic health in general. So some things that can help you get to sleep or just improve your sleep habits would be a good sleep hygiene, having a good sleep routine. So having a bedtime, having a wake-up time that you kind of stick with can be really helpful. Getting exercise during the day can be very, very helpful. Avoiding alcohol at least too close to bedtime can be helpful. Avoiding exercise too close to bedtime can be helpful. Avoiding stressful things like stressful movies, like if you're a Netflix watcher, avoiding those shows that, ramp up your emotions right before bedtime. These are things that can be helpful. Try playing some calming music, or try a little bit of meditating. These are things that can help. Try some deep breathing, or just some, relaxing meditations can be helpful. Pray. I love to personally talk to God. That really helps me when I'm dealing with sleep issues. So let's dive into the essential oils. I'm a fan of using natural remedies. As you know, that's all we use. We haven't used any kind of over-the-counter or prescription drugs in, I'm going to say, going on 13, 14 years now. It's been a really long time. And we don't plan to because we know what plants to use. We know what herbs to use and essential oils to use. So I do take herbal tinctures every evening, and I am the person in our family, it's my husband and myself, we're older people, I'm the person with the sleep issues. So I do take my herbal tinctures in the evening, and they're very helpful. But I also use my essential oils, and I don't think I talk enough about the essential oils. To me, being an aromatherapist and an herbalist, I believe the essential oils are simply another subcategory of herbalism that shouldn't be discounted or poo-pooed. You just need quality essential oils. oils. And I've got lots of information about how to make sure the company you're buying from is a quality company. In fact, I've got a video on that. You should definitely watch it. It's super important. And I address things I promise you haven't even thought about. Okay, back to essential oils. So essential oils can have physiological effects and psychological effects. The physiological effects of essential oils are those effects that are felt directly on the body. So if you have tense shoulders, for example, or sore shoulders, or you're dealing with pain that is just not going away, essential oils can actually be helpful physiologically for those conditions. If you rub certain essential oils on your neck, for example, and in your shoulders, you can immediately feel the relaxation response kick in with your muscles. At least I can, and my clients can. So, we're all different. But I have found that physiologically essential oils can make an amazing difference in your health and wellness and your sleep. Another thing they do is they work on your psychology. So some essential oils are exceptional relaxants. When you breathe them in, they have certain molecules in them that go to work and they relax you physiologically, but then also psychologically, they might uplift your mood or reduce the amount of stress and anxiety you have. The citrus oils are famous for this. They hit your olfactory bulb, and immediately messages are sent to the limbic system in your brain, and your emotional health, your psychological health is immediately impacted. So even if you're having a stressful moment, you can actually train yourself to enjoy a scent and experience the calmness or the peacefulness or the uplifted mood from that. So that's basically the two ways that most things work on our bodies, and essential oils do too. So let's take a little walk through some of my favorite essential oils for sleep. So lavender, of course, everybody knew lavender was coming, right? I love this essential oil. It's high in linalool acetate and linalool, among other things, and it just calms. This is one of those essential oils that's incredibly helpful for physiological benefits for sleep, as well for some of us as the psychological. It's really a safe essential oil too. It's wonderful for use with young children. Now, if I want to just talk, since I mentioned young children here, please don't use essential oils with babies under 12 months of age, or even 2 years of age is even better. Use hydrosols instead. If you're wondering what a hydrosol is, I'll link to a video above, but I distill a lot of plants and I love the hydrosol. So don't discount those, they're really great. So anyhow, there's lavender. Next up is Roman chamomile. Roman chamomile is wonderful, and it contains some chemicals that are just very, very relaxing at night. In fact, I don't know how Roman chamomile affects you, but if I breathe it in deeply, I immediately kind of get tired. So it's really nice for some people. German chamomile, or Metricaria recitata, is another one, another form of chamomile that's really helpful and calming. I have found that the German chamomile is better for pain relief, while the Roman chamomile I prefer in sleep formulations. So that's just my opinion. I like combining it with tangerine for kids, so it's really nice. Next up is black spruce. Now, black spruce is really helpful for a number of reasons, but for sleep, it just tends to be calming. It's woody, it's relaxing. Most of the evergreens are. It's kind of like forest bathing. You're gonna go out there and you get the negative ions, you smell the aromatics from the pine needles and the fir needles and the spruce needles, and this is not some woo-woo thing, okay? Forest bathing is, try it sometime. You'll be amazed if you haven't. But the benefits have been heavily studied in Japan, and definitely they support the immune system and are helpful. So black spruce would be one. And if you don't have black spruce, try one of the pines. Ponderosa pine is one of my favorites. Try Douglas fir. You know, these are all really helpful. They contain heavy amounts of A and B pinene, and they also support the immune system. Okay, next up, We're going to talk about Clary Sage. This is Salvia scleria, and oh gosh, it's so heavenly to me. And I'm just going to explain why. So being a postmenopausal woman at this point in my life, I went through perimenopause like everybody else with the hot flashes and the hormone disruptions. And I'm sure I'm still dealing with all of that to one extent or another. But I found that for me, Clary Sage was very cooling and helpful, and it's also high in the same chemicals as lavender, linalool acetate and linalool. It's very, very calming to the system. So I love working with Clary Sage, especially if you're a woman. Do a little research on this, but there's some evidence that Clary Sage can impact the estrogen receptors in your body. So that can be helpful. Next up is patchouli. Patchouli is extremely grounding. It's wonderful. And it smells really good if you're a person who likes it. Patchouli is kind of one of those love-hate essential oils. But honestly, I like to combine patchouli with my Clary Sage and just make a little oil or put it in my lotion. I've gotten so many compliments on that combination because they kind of balance each other really, really well. I have found that combination just alone when I go to bed at night, or if I wake up in the middle of the night, just rubbing a few drops into my hands and cupping them over my nose can really be helpful for my own sleep. Okay, next up is sweet marjoram. This is Oreganum majorana, and you want to be very, very sure that that's the species you get because the other marjorams are a little bit stimulating. But I really like sweet marjoram. It's so helpful. It's an ingredient in my Calm Heart blend, and we can link to that video as well. That blend has been studied clinically and proven to improve blood pressure, specifically hypertension. So I really like keeping this one around. It's very, very calming and relaxing. Next up is bergamot or tangerine or any of the citruses. But bergamot's one of my favorites. It smells fresh, it's clean, and it uplifts the mood. And when you can uplift your mood, especially if you're dealing with some stressful times, it's going to be really helpful. Okay, we're going into the heavy hitters now. Cedar wood is beautiful. A lot of men love cedar wood. And it's really nice for kids. There's different kinds of cedar. So there's there's Juniperus virginiana, and that one is the cedar that grows in the United States and North America, and it's not really a true cedar. It's the one that smells more woody, and it's also relaxing. So there you go. The cedars that are really relaxing though are the cedrus genus, and specifically Cedrus atlantica and Cedrus deodara. They're extremely helpful for relaxation. So I just wanted to mention that. You know, people will say, just use cedar wood, but I always ask, well, which one are they talking about? Because there is a difference. All right, we're down to the two most powerful essential oils of all. So we have spikenard, and this is Nardistachys jatamanzi. This is the plant that is reputed to have been put on the soaked in vinegar and given to Jesus on the cross to help him calm, and he refused it because he wanted to be completely aware. But spikenard, it was also reputed to be the plant that Mary rubbed on Jesus' feet too a few days before. But spikenard is amazing. And this is one I actually just keep a little bottle on my nightstand. And if I really have trouble getting to sleep, I just open up the bottle and I inhale it straight from the bottle. Deep breaths, 2 or 3 of those, and I'm out. So it's really, really helpful. Now, valerian is the next one. Valeriana officinalis is the Latin name for this one. This is a plant that a few people, they say between 4 and 10% of the population are actually stimulated by valerian, but the rest of us get conked right out. It's a very strong sedative herb if you want to drink the tea, or essential oil if you want to add it to a blend. So I always tell people, if you're going to try valerian and you've never used it before, to be sure that you try it on the night before you don't have anything to do the next day, just in case your sleep is really disrupted. And that's just a big heads up right there. Personally, it knocks me out hard and I really like it. In fact, it is about 1/6 of my favorite sleep formula that I make for myself. I should do a video on that too, because I have found it's incredibly helpful. So I have this Aura ring and it tracks my sleep. And what I've noticed is that when I use certain of these essential oils and I use my special little sleep formula that I created for myself, which I actually adjusted according to the data I was getting on my own sleep, my sleep has improved tremendously in the last few months. And it's because of that. So we're all different. We all need to figure out what we need to do for ourselves and our own bodies. And I like to help people do that. All right, I'm Heidi Villegas with Healing Harvest Homestead, and I'm so glad you're here. Take a look at our school. It's www.learn.healingharvesthomestead.com, or just go to our website, healingharvesthomestead.com. You can find out all about our school and our courses from those places. And be sure to like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I really appreciate it. And if you have questions, just ask in the comments. I'm still at a good size where I can get all the questions answered mostly. So, all right, I will talk with you in the next video. Thank you for being here. I love you guys.